Ronald Acuna Jr. and Shohei Ohtani are quite literally shatting the ceiling of how good a baseball player should be in 2023. The best talent that we've seen in quite some time. Luis Ariz, he's doing the same thing, but in the batting average department, he's hitting over 500 during a 10-game hit streak. And also, I just want to show this, MLB's first ever 360 no-scope from a catcher. Honestly, this could be the best recap that we've ever made, so be sure to subscribe. We do this almost every single day. MLB Recap is here to stay. Now, before we get into all of the games from yesterday, I just want to mention that Alek Manoah gave up 11 runs on 10 base hits. He gave up 2 home runs on 2 walks in 2 2/3 against 17, 18, 19-year-old, 20-year-olds in rookie ball yesterday. Now, if he was just working on his mechanics and he's fine with giving up 11 runs, okay, but if he was actually trying, that's awful news. So let me know in the comments, do we think that Alek Manoah is actually washed, or when he comes back and joins the Blue Jays, he's going to be back to being their ace? Because right now, their ace is Kevin Gausman. Kevin Gausman has been shredding opposing lineups all year long, and it was no different in this game against the Giants. He struck out 8 Giants over the first 4 innings, but ultimately, that RBI double from rookie Patrick Bailey did the Blue Jays in. Kevin, he ended up striking out 12 Giants on the night. He's now on pace for an almost 300 strikeout season. Alex Wood, he wasn't as nasty, but he was still very, very good. He struck out 7 over 5 shutout. San Francisco, they used an opener, so Alex Wood, his 5 shutout actually got him into the 6th inning. Thairo Estrada, his breakout season continues with a 2-run double. He has 29 extra base hits, 18 stolen bases, a 115 OPS plus. Camilo Doval, he strikes out 3. He has 23 saves. The Giants, they're really good. San Francisco really needs Tampa Bay to take care of business, as a Diamondbacks L would put the Giants within 1.5 games of first place. Corbin, he had other ideas in mind. That's a 3-run moonshot. Corbin Carroll, as a rookie, now has 17 home runs and 23 stolen bases. That puts him on pace for a 35 home run, 47 stolen base season. Christian Walker, he blasted off as well. He has 16, and Zach Gallen, probably his worst start in a few weeks. The first 2 scored on wild pitches. Now, I just want to show this home run from Jose Siri because he looks drastically different. He spent 12 hours in a chair from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. getting dreads implanted into his head. He now has 15 home runs on the season, so that hasn't changed. He still rakes. 37-year-old Evan Longoria, he made some history on that home run. The former Tampa Bay Ray finally hit a home run against his former team, so he now is the 70th player in MLB history to hit a home run against every team in Major League Baseball. All 30 teams have now been checked off. Ketel Marte's torrid month of June continued with another home run. He has 7 home runs and 21 RBIs in 22 games in June. Arizona, they are proving that they are not going anywhere. They are legit. So because we just talked about Ketel Marte having a fantastic month of June, we got to talk about a guy who might be having the best June in the history of baseball. Shohei Ohtani, he struck out TA7 and Luis Robert to end the first inning, and then he hit an absolute no-doubt home run in the very next frame. He's got 27 home runs now as a hitter, which again is stupid considering he's a team's ace starting pitcher. He struck out 10 hitters over 6 1/3, and if that wasn't crazy enough, a home run and 10 punchies on the bump. There's his 2nd home run of the game. He is the greatest player ever. There is no debate. He could sit himself until he accrues enough service time to be eligible for the Hall of Fame. At the same time, he could pursue a career as a pastry chef and still make the Hall of Fame, in my opinion. The Angels win 4-2 after Estevez joins the 20-save club. The Halos are 7 games over 500. In my opinion, Shohei Ohtani is having the greatest first half in the history of baseball. We'll talk about Ronald Acuna Jr. in just a second as well because he is doing big things. But right now, let's talk about the Mets and the Brewers game. Mets have been an unmitigated disaster the last few weeks, but finally, they got a dominant win. Brandon Nimmo and Francisco Lindor, they put the team on their backs early in this one. They both swatted home runs in the 4th. Nimmo, he wanted more. He grabbed a 2-run tater in the 5th inning. He's now officially in the 10 home run club. Now, we got to give some props to David Peterson. He went 6 shutout, striking out 5 Brewers along the way. Tommy Pham, he stays the leading baseballs. He doubled in New York's 5th run, and Danny Burgers put the finishing touches on New York's best win in a while. That 2-run home run seals it, and also I got to show this web gem from Francisco Lindor that was back in the 6th inning. He ends it. Lindor is on pace for 30-plus home runs, almost 20 stolen bases, Gold Glove defense at shortstop, but because he doesn't hit 270, people think that he sucks. Lindor is still very good. So because the Brewers lost, we now have to immediately jump to the Reds game where Cincy, they can get back into first place with a W. Now, it's not going to be easy because they're facing the Baltimore Orioles, and Baltimore, they went up early off of rookie starting pitcher Andrew Abbott, but he dialed in after allowing that run. He got some some huge help from another rookie, Matt McLain. McLain, he tied it on his 12th double in just 39 games, and there he is again. This time a 402-foot missile for the lead. He's on pace for 37 doubles and 19 home runs, despite being called up in the middle of May. Andrew Abbott locked in after that second inning run. Like I mentioned, he ended up going 6 innings with 8 strikeouts. He now has a 1.21 ERA in his first 5 or 6 starts to begin his career. TJ Friedel, he later sent one out. He's almost hitting .315 with 12 stolen bases. Alexis Diaz, he has 22 saves, a 1.84 ERA, and a 13 strikeouts per 9 in his first 97 innings dating back to last year. The Reds, they're back in first. So the Reds have been on fire, and a team that has not been, the Pirates, it's kind of crazy to say out loud, but they can get back to 5 games of first place with a W. Both the NL and AL Centrals have been a battle of the mid, but at least Cincinnati and Pittsburgh have been fun watches throughout the year. Pittsburgh, they were really fun to watch in this one. Rookie Nick Gonzalez, he made his home debut. He legged out his first 3-bagger. Andrew McCutchen then brought him home to tie it at 3-3, and the Pirates, they plundered the Locks in the 3rd inning. If you know that reference, shout out to you. Back-to-back home runs from Carlos Santana and Captain Jack. Jackson Winsky has 16 home runs and a 123 OPS plus. He has the 3rd most home runs of any outfielder in the National League since making his debut last year. Rookie Henry Davis, he drove in a run, and even though San Diego did lose, I gotta show this clip. You have Rich Hill versus Nelson Cruz, the 2 oldest players in baseball. Nelson Cruz, he wins that battle. Pittsburgh, they got that run back and then some. Nick Gonzalez, he added to that triple with a 4-bagger, his first career home run. His first career tater went 442 feet. That's got to be really good. And just like Francisco Lindor, I kind of saved the web gem. We saved a web gem from Josh Palacios. He robbed Juan Soto in the 7th inning. He ends the 7th inning. One of the better catches of the year. We know that St. Louis is trying to keep up with the Pirates and the rest of the NL Central. They're literally 1 win streak away from getting right back into it. Paul DeJong, he now has 12 home runs in just 52 games, and right after Jordan Walker secured a 16-game hit streak, Contreras, he got hosed at 3rd base because he thought he was prime Ricky Henderson or something. Anyways, Walker, he ended up scoring on a sac fly from Paul DeJong, and St. Louis, they officially stole the lead an inning later. Arenado, he doubled in Goldie with the help of Houston. And speaking of help from Houston, there's a free run on a wild pitch. Jordan Montgomery, he outdueled Framber Valdez. He nearly got through 7 innings with 6 strikeouts. Jordan Hicks, he came in. He has 5 saves on the season now. The Cardinals, that's a pretty big W against a really good Astros team. I guess I'll go ahead and spoil it right now, but both St. Louis and Pittsburgh gained a game on the Cubs, who have now lost 2 in a row. You just saw Trey Turner drive in the game's first run, and then Brandon Marsh hit his first home run of the night. Yep. There's more. Brandon connected again, driving in Bryson Stott on a 2-run missile. He's hitting .283 with 7 home runs, a 130 OPS plus, and 7 outs above average defensively. Castellanos, his bounce-back season is in full effect. He's hitting .312 with 45 RBIs after that single, and a massive, massive tip of the cap to Philly pitchers Taijuan Walker and this kid Ranger Suarez. Ranger struck out 8 over 7 1/3. He and Taijuan both have sub 2.5 ERAs in June, a big reason why the Phillies are now 4 games over 500. They're 3 games back of the wild card. As a lineup, the Phillies are 7th in OPS in the month of June. So when you factor that in with Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola, Ranger Suarez, and Taijuan Walker all dealing, the Phillies on paper are still insane. You know who isn't insane? The New York Yankees without their captain, Aaron Judge. Like, I'm not even joking when I say this next sentence. The Yankees offense is the worst in baseball without Aaron Judge, or at the very least, bottom 5. No, they are the worst. I'm going to go ahead and say that. That first RBI from Esteury Ruiz, who, by the way, then stole second base. He is the first player in baseball to 40 stolen bases. He's on pace for 82, by the way. And then there's a home run from Seth Brown. The game was pretty much a wrap. Former A's catcher Josh Donaldson, yes, Donaldson was a catcher for the A's once upon a time. That actually was bad news for the Yankees because the Yankees came into this one 0-5 in games in which Josh Donaldson hit a home run. And after Sam Maul of the A's struck out 2, earning his first career save, the Yankees are now 0-6 when Josh Donaldson hits a home run in June. The Yankees are dead last in batting average, on base percentage, OPS. Aaron Judge is the Yankees. We'll go ahead and get the Rangers game out the way because unlike the Yankees, they very clearly do not have an issue on offense. After a slow start to the game, Josh Young and Leody Taveras, they both singled in some runs to steal the lead in the 6th, but that lead was short-lived as Torkelson belted his 9th home run. He has 5 home runs in the month of June. He just cannot stop striking out at a 30% clip. Oh my word. Ezekiel Duran to the moon. This kid is hitting .320 with 10 home runs. He has multiple hits in 4 of his last 5 games. He has a 170 OPS OPS plus in June. Corey Seager and Nathaniel Lowe, they made it a 3-run 8th inning, and now it's a 5-run 8th as Adolis Garcia, he's up to 19 home runs, 63 RBIs. That is one behind Shohei Ohtani. Texas is number 1 in runs, hits, average, on base percentage. The Braves are first in OPS, so let's talk about them right now, shall we? I mean, honestly, between Ronald Acuna Jr. and Shohei Ohtani, we could be seeing some of the greatest first halves humans have ever had in the history of baseball. Austin Riley, he belted a monster 2-run home run right after, and Sean Murphy, he beat everyone on the day with a near 450-foot tater right there. Michael Harris, he's now hitting 420 over the last 2 weeks after that prodigious home run, and no way he did it again. Is that going to squeak out? No way! Ronald, he gets it out. He is 1 home run and 5 stolen bases away from a 20-40 first half. Do you guys realize how stupid that is? I personally think that the 1987 first half from Eric Davis is the best first half ever from an offensive player. But 2023 Ronald has got to be up there. Same with 2022 Aaron Judge. Bryce Elder, he later got huge help from Ozzie on the defensive side of things. Look at that flip to Orlando Arcia, who completed the play. What can't the Braves do? That's the real question. So the Twins lost, so let's go ahead and recap this Guardians game real quick, because if the Guardians win, they'll be a half game out of first place. This one's fairly easy to recap because I could shed tears with how this game turned out. Rookie Gavin Williams, he struck out 6 over 7 one-hit frames. Now, it was the Kansas City Royals. So, yes, it's very impressive to hold a Major League Baseball team to 1 hit over 7. He threw the fastball a lot. He ditched the changeup, but again, it's the Royals. Once he came out, Cleveland, of course, gave up the lead on maybe the worst throw I've ever seen from a Major League pitcher. It's now 1-0 Kansas City, and luckily it stays that way because Bo Naylor turned in MLB's first ever 360 no-scope from a catcher. Put that in an episode of a Phase Ilcams. If you know, you know. The Guardians steal their first lead of the day on a 2-run double from Will Brennan, who is from Kansas City. So Clase, he comes in, he closes it out, and the Guardians are a half game out of first. Brian De La Cruz, his bounce back season continued just like Nick Castellanos, but this was in a big way. That 2-run home run was his 9th of the season. He has 43 RBIs and a 330 on base percentage. And look who's back. Jazz, he turned on the Turbo Jets to score from second. I'm so happy that he's back and healthy. Luis Arraez, he upped his hit streak to 10 games in the 3rd inning. He's hitting over 500 in that stretch. He got to 3rd after Soler doubled in 1 more. And then Luis ended up scoring on a Jazz Chisholm single to center field. Gene, the hit machine, knocked a home run out in the 5th inning. And Luis, he kickstarted a big inning later in the 8th. He only went 2 for 5 in this game, so he lowered his batting average to .399. Jazz, he ripped a 2-run double. He went 3 for 4 in his first game since May 13th. He's still on pace for a 21 home run, 40 stolen base season, even though he missed 40 games. Miami, they put up 10 after 8, and as you can see, Boston, they only scored 1 run. Is Sandy Alcantara back? He went 7 innings. He struck out 5, and honestly, with the emergence of Yuri Perez, you factor in Sandy, Jesus Luzardo, Edward Cabrera, Braxton Garrett, the Miami Marlins are 100% legit. We're going to cut out a lot of fat in this one. The Nationals and the Mariners, and I'm just going to show all of the back and forth lead changes. Teoscar Hernandez is now up to 15 home runs and 46 RBIs. Rookie Keibert Ruiz, he came up huge for Washington later in the 8th. He had a home run and a 4-3 game to tie it at 4-4. Now this one's going to need extras, and who saves Washington? None other than their 2023 All-Star, at least he's going to be an All-Star in my opinion, Lane Thomas. That's his 21st double. By the way, I did not know that he was also top 7% in speed. Luis Garcia makes it a 3-run game, and Jordan Weems, he goes 2 innings for the W. Seattle is now 38-40. They're 19th in team ERA. They're 24th in team OPS. So by every metric, they're pretty much average, which blows my mind. I thought the Mariners were going to be really good. We all know that the Dodgers are far from average. They lost Trey Turner, Walker Buehler, Gavin Lux. I'm probably forgetting a few more players, and they're still 10 games over 500. James Outman, he brought in Jason Hayward, and JD Martinez, he had a big day. That was his first of 2 home runs. His second came in the 6th inning. He's got 18 home runs, 51 RBIs, and a 130 OPS plus. He turns 36 in 2 months. Wait, that was his 300th career home run? I just noticed that during my research. Now, staying with 300s, Kershaw, he is inching closer and closer to that elusive 300-win club. He went 6 shutout on just 1 base hit allowed before taking himself out. He told Dave Roberts that he's done. He wanted to save some gas for his next start. Kershaw, he has a 1.09 ERA in June. He's the first pitcher in the National League to 10 wins, so he has 207 for his career. It's going to be a tall task to get to 300, but his career ERA is 2.48. His 2023 ERA is 2.55. That's how insane Kershaw has been for his entire career. This was a massive recap. If you watched all the way until the end, shout out to you. I really appreciate all the support. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys tomorrow for another recap.